It's almost good afternoon, it looks like. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pramod, founder and CEO of Dinos. I'm also empowered, starting from Mr. Arnold's empowerment speech, Dr. Lata's talk on creativity and innovation, and this, yeah, and Mr. Saran's the powerful speech on the 21st century skills, right? So what we are the jobs we have, are they going to exist in the future or not? We don't know, right? I wanted to become a lawyer. Here I am talking to you. So you'll never know where we end up, right? So the idea here is adaptability, right? So agility. So somebody said, what is the constant thing, right? Any guesses? Change. Change is the constant thing nowadays. So, I mean, it's amazing if you think about it, what happened in 2020, pandemic hit, and how people adopted. You have to do it. You have absolutely no choice. You must reach kids. You must reach children. What did you do? You grabbed your smartphones, WhatsApp, you all got together in your, I mean, obviously not in the conference rooms, but you all got together and you came up with solutions that will work for your kids, right? So you did wonderful, actually. For that, I applaud you very much. Thanks a lot. So now, my presentation is going to be a little different. It's going to be hands-on, so I'll be using a lot of PowerPoint, by the way. So we've been talking about this dynamic digital content, right? So I'm going to explain exactly what we mean by digitization. So when we talk about digitization, we have papers that we are using. We are using scanned papers. We are using Microsoft Word. We are using all of this, right? However, the point here is it translating to better learning or not, right? So you have a paper, okay, in your hands. Now, you basically turned it into a digital document, right? You distributed it. Is it transforming into a better learning or not? So that is what we should be thinking about. So what we actually thought about the solution is it's not. So it's not turning into a better learning experience. And since I was in school, since I was in college, we all have been using this PDFs, Word docs, all of that, right? So again, the point here is it transforming into, is the digitization helping the kid or not? And we have a lot of content out there, a lot. We have papers, tons of volumes, either in PDFs or wherever. We have tons of volumes. So it's like a mountain, like I was showing you in this picture. It's a mountain, and you are feeding this mountain to the kid, right? Eat it. So unless it's absolutely designed in a way that he or she can eat it, understand it, it's not going to help the kid. So it has to be designed in a perfect way. Otherwise, it's going to be a data dump. And obviously, when we are adding this marketing media, right, all the media, there are a lot of elements that you add, right? So you add a flower. For example, unless I tell you this is a mountain and this is a mountain is actually for knowledge, you'll be looking at the mountain and see, what is it talking about, right? Whatever the elements that you add to the content, it has to convey a meaningful, it has to impart a good knowledge. Otherwise, what's the point of adding multimedia elements, right? Like I was explaining, what happened, right? So we dumped a lot of technology on teachers for the past few years, especially last year, year before. They are burnt out. They absolutely are. Are you all not burnt out? Was it a pleasant experience in 2020, 2021? How was it? Okay, you get my point. So you have absolutely no idea. So you are conducting your Zoom class. You are actually sending your PDF document, a Word doc, or even you are WhatsApping some of the people. They're WhatsApping their content to students. But you have absolutely no idea whether they're learning or what are they doing, right? So here we are in 2022. You're learning that your students are left behind, a lot of them, and now you are actually conducting more classes to make sure they're up to speed, right? So back in 2018, there is this foundation called Reboot Foundation. That's a non-profit organization. They have conducted a massive survey across all countries, and this was in 2018. They found out that the technology adoption is actually not helping the student outcomes. So they did a massive study, and there's a lot of statistics out there. So the amount of technology spent by schools and their outcomes, the student outcomes. So they did a correlation study. Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, there are a lot of countries out there, there's a negative correlation. The more technology they are dumping on the schools or students, the results are negative. Actually, this is negatively impacting. So they had to roll out. This was in 2018. And even in US also, if you would think that technology adoption is great in developed countries, even the correlation is not like this. I mean, it's very, very, I mean, you cannot make sense out of anything. It's mixed. So that was the study by Reboot Foundation. You can Google it, you can find it. So what is actually happening, right? The obvious thing here is technology is great, but you absolutely have to craft. So that's why teacher plays a major role into this. You absolutely need to make sure you're using the right technology in the right way. Otherwise, you put something out there, they'll play with it. They have absolutely no idea what they're playing with it. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of time. As I've been explaining, there are two key things we need to understand here. Well laid out, organized content using cognitive load theory, which I'm going to explain what it is. So the content, again, there's a mountain, right? The knowledge is, I mean, if you think knowledge is a mountain, content is mountain, how do you organize it? You have to have a well laid out, organized content to feed to kids. And as far as the content goes, you have to think about dynamic content. So I use the word cognitive load theory. What exactly, I don't know if you can see this very well, but there are three things mainly. Selecting, storing, and retrieval. So you got this huge content out there. Okay, when you are about to deliver it to students, you need to select it properly. There has to be a strategy in place. For example, there shouldn't be any redundancy in the content. You need to take the summaries out of the content. So you need to be properly planning how to select the content. The second part is organizing. So now that you did the selection, how do you organize it? So you're putting it in child's brain. So how do you organize in a way it will last longer? So there are techniques like, okay, can you use this concept? Can you relate to something that they already know, right? So that is the technique that we should be thinking about. And the other one is retrieving. Okay, now they understand it. Let's do a quick summary. Are they understanding it or not? So you have to constantly thinking about these when you are designing the curriculum, the content. And that's a fancy name of cognitive load theory. And again, just to reiterate here, the review of previous lessons is obviously very important. It plays, especially if you think of cognitive theory, reviewing previously, because what happens is when you are actually telling something new to the brain, you need to make some connections. What is that they already know? So that is why reviewing previous lesson and connecting to the new knowledge is going to be very crucial. And when we are present, we're going to talk about this what-if scenarios and interactive content and all of that. Again, when you're presenting the content, can they analyze it a bit more? What if it is not 10 millimeters? What if it is 20 millimeters? Right? So can they pause and think a little bit? So when they do that, they can understand the better. They can develop deeper understanding of concepts. And again, third thing is practicing. Okay, now you learned all of this, can we practice it a bit more, right? So if you do all of this, it'll last longer. So the idea is, after a few years, can you retrieve your basic concepts or not, right? So I'm going to explain what exactly we mean by dynamic content or static content, and what is that we're talking about. So let me go ahead and can't see it. All right. So this is an example of a PDF document, right? Can you all relate to a PDF document? You all know what a PDF document is, right? 2022, you scan a paper or you get it anywhere in PDF. PDF is super popular. So this is the content. It's a great content. This is example for third grade science, I think. It looks great. The content is very well laid out, all of that. So again, coming back to the point, what is the idea of using PDF? Yes, it brings convenience for you, but is your child learning better or not? Right, you have a graph here. Is your technology utilization, is it worth it or not? Right? So here you're using a MacBook or you're using a super expensive computer. You spend thousands of rupees or crores of rupees on your technology. So what exactly is happening to the cognitive mind, right? And again, this is Google Docs. You can think of this as another example. This is 7th grade math, and this here we're talking about maths. So there's so much of content. It's good. It's good content. It's 200 pages worth of content. But again, where is the technology coming into play? You must question yourself. Okay, this is the exact Word document that I've used when I was a kid. 20, 30 years back. So what is happening? Where is it helping? So this is what we call this as a static document. Okay, static means it's just static. You cannot interact with it. It is what it is. It's just like it's as good as a fancy paper. That's all. So now I'm going to show you a dynamic content. What is the dynamic version going to be? So this is what we envision as a dynamic content. So now you can think of this as a document that you're already familiar with. Now we are explaining something called, this is business math, where we are explaining about what is break-even analysis. So as we are going through this, reading everything is fine, but in between when we are seeing something, okay, so Sally bought 64 oranges, each costing 50 cents. Now, wait a minute. What happens if this is not 64 oranges? What happens if it is 50 oranges, right? So that is the what if scenario we should inculcate. So now, if I change this 64 to, let's say, 77, your entire explanation should dynamically change. That is what we mean by dynamic content. So you can do multiple what if scenarios. So education is all about, you have to critically think. Like he was saying, Mr. Saran, he's saying about 21st skills, right? So critical thinking is very important, the problem-solving skill, right? So you have to pause and think, okay, so what if? It's not about, okay, 64 oranges, 50 cents, it's not about mugging up and writing it in a paper. What if you get something else, right? So this is an example, this is a prime example of dynamic content. And again, there is a graph. So you have a graph in your PDF also, but what if the graph is applicable for one set of values? What if you change the value to something else, right? And it should change, it should update. It should update the straight line, for example. So again, okay, so that is math, that is business math, I guess. So this is about, I think this is social studies. So what happens? So again, you can have hundreds of pages of social studies with a lot of lessons, right? We have paragraph after paragraph. This is all great, okay? So this is talking about economy under the British rule. So now, okay, this is all great. Now, let's just stop for a second. Now let's ask a question. Okay, now you read that about Mughal emperor. Okay, let's just answer this quick question. Okay, so that immediately improves the engagement of the student. That is where we are looking at. So this is what we call dynamic content. I hope you get better appreciation of what we've been talking about and what we are displaying here, dynamic. So this is what we mean by dynamic, right? So you have to pause and you have to question yourself. So how do we go to the 21st century skill, right? So it has to. So now when you're doing this, now you're you're giving work to your computer. Otherwise it's just dumb. So now you can ask your question, and whether you can quickly check whether you did it correct or not. So now there is a reason why you have to go to a computer and learn better. And I have multiple examples like this. This is theorems on angles. So for example, you're teaching some math, okay? It's all good, but there is 114 degrees. Now I don't want 114 degrees. I want to play with something else. So what happens if it is 87 degrees? You want the explanation to be updated automatically. All this walkthrough solution will be updated automatically. I know some of you may be thinking, okay, you are actually giving solutions to the exercises. But again, it doesn't have to be this, but whatever that makes sense to you, whatever it makes sense to make the content dynamic, you have to do it. And this is another example of quadratic equation where you have, okay, we're explaining quadratic equation with some numbers. Now let them experiment with some numbers and see if they get it. Chemistry lesson. Okay, do we have any chemistry science teachers here? Yes? Some? Okay. So we have sodium. Okay, sodium goes with which charge? Is it positive or negative or what? So you can at least experiment with these. You're okay, if it is magnesium, what happens with magnesium? So you can experiment with this. So blindly, when you're like reading it, okay, you have to wake up your brain. When you're actually teaching, when you're learning something, you have to pause for a second, you have to think, okay? So it's not like reading a novel, right? So that's why it says cognitive engagement. So this is what we mean by cognitive engagement. You have to say hello to your brain cells once in a while to make sure you're actually developing that connection. So this is another example where do you have math teachers here? Yes, okay. So you know what a straight line equation is, right? What is y equal to mx plus? So now we have a slope value, we have a y coordinate, and so when you're explaining this, right? So how do you understand a math problem, right? When you actually solve this with multiple ways, right? So you can do all of that in a single chart with dynamic content. For example, I have m equal to 2.5 and c is 5. And what happens if the x is 5 and what happens to the y value? You plug the value of x and you get the value of y. And I'm just typing it without doing any math here. It says not correct. And you can check your answer again. You can type it in. Once you get it correct, now you can try it with a different m value. Let's say now the slope value can be 3.5. Right? Now you can use this m value and now you can find out the y value. What should be the y value? So you can see, so just compare this with static content. We really wanted to be the pioneers in promoting this dynamic content. It's very important because what we've been seeing is decades are passing by, but we are still using the same mentality. Okay, so digitization is important, but it's more than using a computer. That's as simple as that. So you have to use the computer for a reason, right? Otherwise, why? You might as well just print a paper and study, right? Yeah, I'm not here to explain a math lesson or something, but I'm just trying to make you understand the concept. So okay, so now I showed you all this content, right? So what we're doing as a dynamic digital content, we're putting together all of this, and we are actually publishing books digitally. Okay, so now we have math book, 5th grade math book, 4th grade math book. So we compiled everything together, which I'll show you a quick on this. So there are a lot of math books. These are like 5th grade GK, 5th grade maths, IT matters, all of this, right? So if you open any of this, so it would look like this. This is a sample math lesson, math book rather. So in this, you can see on the left-hand side, you have chapter-wise content. Everything is in dynamic digital content, right? Written in a dynamic way rather. So for example, again, dynamic content is one thing, again, going back to the first point, well laid out content, right? So first you need to establish the link between previous lesson and this line. And you discuss with, use dynamic content and explain the lesson. Now do the summary. So all of this is a well laid out content. So that's what we are doing by comparing this book using a dynamic digital content. So you can see this is 5th grade math book. Sorry, I'm a civil engineer, that's why I use a lot of math examples here. So you can see, now we started this lesson with an assessment, self-assessment. So you can read, wait a minute. So this is the recap session, let's say. Is my internet working? So you can see the submit button. So quickly, the students can actually go through this. They can do a quick check whether they understood the concept or not. They can hit submit, and they can get the feedback, whether they did it correct or not, right? So they can start off with a new lesson like this. So this is what we are talking about, having a digital content and making it dynamic, and also making it in a well laid out fashion, so we can apply nicely the cognitive load theory and make sure the student understands this correctly. So that is the effort that is being taken here. And in the second session, we're going to explain about the learning management system and how you can actually create this. So if you're interested, actually, I can tell you how you can create this. It's just not me creating it or my guys creating this. So just like how you compose a Word document, you can actually compose this. So speaking of creativity and innovation, how can a teacher create a dynamic content as opposed to static content? So I hope I gave a good introduction overview about digital dynamic content. So if you have any questions, I'm here. Feel free to reach out to me and my staff. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your expansive knowledge about Dyna's digital content. So I request you to please be on the dais.
We'll have to hurry up a little. Yeah, that's the Indian way of honoring. Please take our honor.
Manjana?
Yes, please. Our Dr. Saravanan Kodandaraman. He's an IT specialist. He's my board of director, and we warmly welcome him on the dais. And I think you have been eagerly waiting. So he is going to let you know about digital classrooms and the future. Thank you so much, and let us give him a big round of applause. So we just did a small change in the agenda. That's the reason there was a chaos there. Sorry about it.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I think most of you got tired or whatever it is. Okay, I just want to get the energy back. Stay there for 10 to 15 minutes with me. Okay, I'm just going to not doing something different as what others did it, but I just want to make a connect. I want to do a trigger for your change. Okay. Before that, I just want to go with a small story. I think how many of you like a story? Because if I don't do something what audience don't like it, the outcome is not that great, right? So yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Hello. Is that okay? Yeah, let's start it, right? The story, I think we all heard from grandmas. The majorly when you say about the stories, we learned it from the grandmas. And after that, in the preschools. And after that, I stopped hearing the stories. Right? And we got busy with reading books. That's it, okay? My father is a physical education teacher, and my whole family is all about, they want me to be a doctor or engineer. I said that no. Okay, let's say there is a man passing on the city. Okay, he's come from a different part of the country, and then he's just walking toward the city. Not just walking, he's going on the car, and he just saw an elephant. And there is what do you call that person go along with the elephant? Anybody can name? The trainer, right? The trainer who goes along with the elephant. Mauta. Yeah, that's great, and thanks. Because you have to use the right words to get the trigger. And okay, so the person was going in the car at a high speed, and then he saw a person, Mauta, next to the elephant with a small rope tied to the elephant. Did you all observe that elephants are tied within a small rope? I just want to hear a response back. If you want, I will throw the mic back, and because otherwise, till 4 o'clock, I am going to be here. Okay? If you want me to come down in next 10 minutes, I want the noise to be come from that side, not from here. Okay? Please, please, please. No excuses. I know that you are all the decision makers. You are all the principals. You are much more than that, okay? But today, you are all different, and I want to introduce myself as, ma'am told that I'm a technologist. No, that's not the truth. I'm a student. I'm a student of Learning Academy for the last 40 years. Okay, so I think I revealed my age, that's it. Okay, let's put the mic that side, and I want to hear the sound. You want to make it as a nice music sound, I don't mind, okay? You all saw the elephant is tied with a small rope, yes. Right? Yes. Okay, just put the mic that side so I want to hear it. And if you don't like the way that what we are doing, hey, we are talking about technology, why you are talking about an elephant and a rope, which nowhere the connection is all about, right? Okay, and this man was amazed. He never saw something like that. He always saw the elephant or the big animals normally tied with what? Steel things and all, right? One small rope. Then he suddenly stopped the car and get on from there, and then walked towards the Mauta. He just walked towards the Mauta and then asking, hey, I'm just amazed. Such a big creature. I think elephant is something bigger than any other animal that I have seen, because dinosaurs is gone. I only saw in the movie. Hey, how this got tied with a small rope that won't get away from the rope? For that Maucha is told, you know what? When the elephant is small and young, this rope is good enough to hold that. That's how that time we tied with a small rope. But the elephant has grown bigger and bigger than any other creatures in this world. Forget the dinosaurs. But still, it can't get out of the rope because it's completely conditioned. It's conditioned. So here, most of you see that you're from a teaching, so I don't need to tell what is conditioning. Can you give me an example of a conditioning? The well-known example of a conditioning. There is a cat, and then the bell, and then when it is due, the saliva comes out, right? So that's how we condition our brain, right? So brain is a very complex organ in us, right? So it's very complex organ. Nobody understands how it works, but it's doing its wonder on its own, right? So you no need to be get into the deeper of it. If you want to be an MBBS, then of course yes. Otherwise, don't stress too much. Just enjoy the outside world. So it is conditioned. So what I'm trying to do, once we get conditioned to something, that's it. We all fall into that. We won't come out of that. That's what's happening today. The tradition. I'm a tradition guy, that's why I'm carrying a paper. Okay? And I am also in a technology, that's why I'm going to show you something here. And I'm just going to say, you cannot leave the tradition this side and take a technology this. It won't work. You need to take it hand in hand. Okay? So, we are all getting conditioned. So don't you think so that we also conditioned with so many things from our life? Yes, no, that's it. Okay? So you might be finding it bored. What this Saran, the Sarvanan Kodandaraman, it's come and asking us to be answer it. I am a big person. Sorry for that, but just bear with me and say yes or no. That's all we need to know. If you really want to be a change. Okay, if any person come to the center of the stage and say that we have to bring the change. Okay? Do you think we, is that include the person in the opposite or the person including this? Right? So, yes. So I was here for a minute back or 5 minutes back I was there. So I need to be part of the change. Then only I can talk about the change, right? Perfect. So that's the thing which I want to talk about. The small moral of the story is we are all conditioned with so many things and we are tied up and we are resist to change. We are not able to be adapt something. And Shant has shown something and has changed. And everybody's spoken about that, right? Change is inevitable, right? Change is inevitable. And what is constant? What Pramod told is the change. And you just need to go with that. Okay? With that request, can you put the slides? Sorry if I am taking you way back things. I will operate from here. What is this? Let it make it interactive. I think I'll have 10-15 minutes from now. Okay, that's all. I'll leave the stage, otherwise put the alarm. Otherwise, it's not my responsibility, okay? Okay, what is this? Plain board. What I can write on this? Excellent, excellence. Whatever I can write on this, I can write, and whatever you want to write, you can write on this. Can you do that now? No. But technology makes you to do that. That's the digital boards we are talking about today. You sit 100 miles away from this board and write something where the children sitting in the other side of it can able to be see it. So this is the green board. Whenever I see, I'll be rolled back to 30 years or beyond that. I still don't remember beyond 10 what happens, so I'm just telling from 10 years. I'll be rolled back to 30 years. For how many of you, when you see the board, you are going back to the board? But the teachers who are daily using it may not be see that because hey, I'm living with this board for the last 40 years. Okay? For the students or the person who's in a different thing, they are rolled back to or get the memories of something for the 30 years back. Is it? So, I'm going to write something here. What makes you happy if I write something here? What do you want me to write here? Anything? For that, I just want only one thing from you. You have to be in open mind. Then only you will like it what I'm writing it. Otherwise, it'll be like, because my handwriting is very bad, like doctor handwriting from the beginning of my school itself. Do you know what is this? Just make it interactive, or even the students who can answer this, no matters on the age, okay? There's a child sitting and they have thousands of questions in their mind, and you are also a child way back, and then thinking that we are a learner, and how many of you felt like you are not a learner today? You can definitely raise your hand for this. I'll be having a separate session with you after this, 1 hour, 1-to-1. Okay? So, how many of you think that you are not a learner here? Excellent. Okay? So, there is 1,000 questions in it. Okay? Do you see what's the first board which I shown you? Oh, that's a plain board. And that is, what is written on this board? So many things about the science, the language, the mathematics, lot more things. This how it's been taught, and you also a teacher today or part of your life, you did this so. till pandemic. Agree or please make it yes or no or do some signaling because I have conditioned my brain something like that. I won't move forward. That's the problem with. Yes, at least one
Yes,
yes.
yes.
That's how the mouse also will be respond. You know, mouse, it needs to sound to respond, okay? And my mouse is conditioned like that to do that. Okay, I just need to hear S after the each slide, which is move on.
Yes.
Okay, so do you all agree what you're seeing there?
Yes.
So what we did it in the pandemic? What we did during the pandemic? So this is before pandemic.
We did online classes.
Excellent. Thank you, and give a big round of applause to the person who has done it. It's too much conditioned. Do you see this diagram bit clear? If I'm not, I will be able to help you out. Do you see what is this?
No, not clear.
The same board, nothing else, and just the mobile put in front of the screen. And we say that we have technology. We implemented technology. We are good enough to do that. Is it? Do you think like that's the technology? Yes, of course, that's the mobile technology we brought in. Okay, that's the connecting medium or connecting platform between you and me when we are sitting 100 miles, 1,000 miles away. But that's not the only thing which is going to change the entire world on the education, right? So you all there, right with me? Okay.
Yes, yes.
And if we teach the way what we are taught yesterday, are we preparing our kids for today or tomorrow? I just want you to be answer for this quick and make it 15 minutes. I think I'll done with all 5 minutes already. Are we, if we continue to teach us what we are teaching it today, are we preparing our kids for today or tomorrow?
No.
Right? Not even for today, right? Yes. Because we are already in Industrial 4.0. You may get confused. I am a technology leader, so I'll be talking about a lot of common things, but there is a very, very close relationship with Education 4.0. Okay? So what is taught is the formal curriculum. Okay, and please excuse if there is a spelling mistake because I don't go with that. Okay? The formal curriculum. It's not, we are all following the formal curriculum, correct?
Yes.
As I told, I am programmed already. That's how it came into the stage. If I not hear one S, I will not be go to the next one. Okay? Great. So, what is taught is the formal curriculum, and what is learned is the hidden curriculum. Why so much people are innovating something? And as Pramod told, as what Shant told, why so much of innovations coming and all do? Learning you can do by paper, book, or this, no matters. But what is you learned out of that, it matters. And if you learn the same way as what we have learned for the past, definitely we're not going to cope up and we will be not in the race at all. Okay? Yes. Back to school? Are we all back to school after the pandemic?
Yes.
So I just want to just say the children are ready for the school. Yes?
Yes.
The parents are ready to support their children's learning.
Yes.
Right? What do you think the third one will be? I will give my token of appreciation to the maximum answered person in this hall. Whatever it is, don't ask what is the token of appreciation. Even if it is a bouquet or plant, I will give it. But I want for the maximum participant, and you are the one going to choose the maximum participant on this room, right?
Okay.
The children are ready for the schools and the parents are ready to support the children. Is that the school are ready for the children?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Then, not today, now is the time for you to make a decision, right? No matters what technology, what things and all, but you need to make the school ready. What is this? You will see so much of industrial things, the transportation, one side of an architecture, buildings and mobile technologies, and other side as energy. Don't you see there is a major switch happening on the industry that is 4.0? Everything is changing. The mobile what we are using before pandemic was 2G, 3G, 4G, now 5G. My phones are not supporting, right? I need to be upgrade my phone, and 6G has been already spoken in some countries on the research, is not? And the energy, the green energy, right? You know how many jobs is going to be get created for green energy? 1 million. And I'm going to be part of the journey. And if anybody has the talent, please distribute a site, I will get you there. 1 million jobs is going to create only for the green energy. So there are so many industries are getting into a transformation. What is the foundation for all these industries? That is Education 4.0. That's education is the foundation for all industry, whichever that you say. Pramod said that he want to become a lawyer and he is here, right? It's a passion, right? It's a passion. So whatever it could be, whatever your dream could be, but the foundation is English. And what is this? Beyond curriculum, infrastructure, management. If I come and ask Vengat, sir, how is this infrastructure? Do you like the infrastructure? Awesome, right? What is the curriculum you use? Maybe Cambridge, Macmillan, or something else. That's not enough, right? The management and then the teachers. I have everything in the school. Is that a readiness? No. It should be a lot of physical things that comes from your body language, and then the digital cognitive, which that we are all talking about today, digital cognitive, the socialism, and then the emotional development are the essential ingredients for the school readiness, right? So with this, I'm just moving to the next one. Quickly read something on this screen, please. Fast.
Tradition, norms, heritage, values, arts, infrastructure, language, education system.
Excellent. Who was speaking? I think, I don't know whether I'm speaking or somebody speaking, but it's great actually. You can continue this presentation. That's what I felt it. Okay, great, because I will give the mic there and you need to be helped. What we need to be focused. What we need to do here. Are you getting bored on the this side? I see so many answers coming from that ma'am from the beginning, but after I started speaking, she went silent. I don't know. Okay? See, be participant. If you want me to get on off this stage in the next 7 minutes, I don't have a timer, you need to get me down, okay? Okay, what we need to be focused and what is very important today to adapt.
Integration.
Okay, excellent. Excellent, sorry? Everything? Okay, excellent. Okay, superb. Okay, superb. Okay, next time I will ask to get a mic around the open hanging mics. Okay, fine. So all what we need to do here is the culture, right? Which we all need to be focused on the culture. That's it. Just go and adapt that. Okay, you no need to do a big exercise and be a learner. And this, what is this? It's one of the complex organ, right? It's one of the complex organ. And as I told a tradition, this paper, I have not saw this paper for some time now. I'm just going on, but I just need this for a support. That's how I conditioned, right? So this tradition, I don't want to leave. I don't want to take your brain and show like what it is all. But the schools play a vital role on shaping a child development from the age of 1.8 years now, right? So more than a parent, the teachers, the school is spending a time within a child development, and whatever the child before 1.8, it's completely getting transformed into the school, and they hold the responsibility. Is it not? Yes? So we play a major role and vital role on it. And you know how many things happening in the brain? How many neurons? Any numbers? Any numbers? Just feel free, and then I'm done in the next 7 minutes, please. Millions? Okay. Any numbers more? Millions from the last bench? From the last? Numerous. That's a very generalized number. I just need some numbers. It could be trillions. Excellent. You have gone a little beyond it. Yeah, I know. Yes, it's true. Trillions. I have heard it till 100 billions. Of course, it could be definitely a trillion, right? So nobody can understand what's happening around. And what I'm going to say here is tradition plus technology is equal to the future education. There are so much of wiring. Okay, you know how the brain works, and I have done my research in psychology also. I am an NLP practitioner, so I know like how to reframe the brain. And you say that your brain works in such a way that I can able to reframe that within a given time. Not 45 days, not 45 weeks, less than 45 minutes. I can reframe. Okay? So, what is this? Any idea? Any idea, please? First thing is the brain, okay? And then this is the MRI output. I'm not very sure everybody can able to catch the color differences in the screen. Are you? What is the two color that you see? I want to check your eye also. Red color, do you see somewhere the warm colors? If you do the textbooks learning, this is how the active neurons happening in your brain, okay? But if you learn through a digital, you will have a maximum number of neurons, okay? So there will be a question, hey, I am 60 years now and all the inventors has been died now, no inventors is available. Are they all learned it from a digital learning? No, it's not that. They have learned it in a different way, we are not learning that way. That's one thing. And another one, textbooks learnings is very important, but today's, as the industry is growing, if you learn textbooks, you can't go. How many of you want to go to Bangalore? Can you go by bullock cart? Okay, if you go by bullock cart, what time you may reach? Even in this today's traffic, even you go by Mercedes, you may need 3 hours to be reached, right? If you start talking about tradition, it's good. You go to a village, use the tradition, come, and wherever possible use the tradition. Don't use it wherever you can't. If you apply a tradition in somewhere you can't, you will be just go mad and people won't give a respect to you. And people go to one who is really delivering that. That's where the school play a responsibility. So digital learning is bringing in a different change altogether in the learning. Okay, learning as Pramod has presented something as a selecting, storing and retrieving. I'm right? Okay, selecting, storing and retrieving. And I'm talking about that retrieving. Okay, you can done whatever that you have been done it. How come our world people can able to remember a lot of things? They don't have they have only 5 books, that too only 40 pages or 80 pages book. But today the kids is having 100, 200 pages books, and what they study they really don't know, and they get confused, right? And they all just watch through. And do you remember the news what you read 3 months back? No. You read what you read after 45 days before? Do you read? It's become like a kind of newspaper. We will be keep reading. But we won't able to recollect anything, right? So we don't want to make it that way. That's why the digital learning will make a difference altogether. Sorry if I'm taking, if you really wanted to make the sparkle, the magic in your brain, and you really need to be adapt to the change. What's happening, that is adapt to the digital technology. And it's a quick exercise. I'm just already conditioned you to say SS after my slide. Right now, that's a different exercise. We're going to be complete in next 1 minute. I just want everybody in this auditorium to be just read this. I want to hear a big sound, then only the slide goes. Green. Green. Okay? So, just one more sound. I will set the sound and the pitch for it. Okay? Just go one more time. Sorry if the screen is not clear. Okay? Just fast. No, somebody is not telling, so I'll go back. Can I go back? Can I go back on the slide? Don't think that I'll go back to the previous green. I'll go to the first slide. Do you want it? Do you want to hear the same thing from Saran again? Okay, please stay with me and then answer. If I don't hear one answer, I'll be go back to the first slide. And this is the decision you are taking, not me. Okay? Let's see. Read from now. I'm giving an excuse from now. Only for this time, not next time. Okay? No, I didn't hear. Sorry to make you. I know that many of you are billionaires, millionaires, decision makers, principals. Sorry if I make you to do this exercise, but I wanted. That's my wish. So sorry if I made you to feel bad. Okay? Excuse me, and then say one more time. If the sound is not good, my mouth is also not going to function. Great. Just give escape. Okay, for that you need to be read it again. Fast, okay, I'm going to be run fast, okay? And if the sound, why I'm just telling you may be confused, hey, what's something wrong with? No, there is I'm going to be tell you something out of this. If you don't follow, this exercise will be failed and I am not the responsible, you are the responsible for the exercise to be failed, okay? Just read what it's there in the screen, please. Fast. You are reading it now. With the same speed you need to be read. Not the words, the colors. Okay? Go. Okay. Did you all listen? I was hearing in a one single sound. And still after I'm telling many times, 20% of the people on the floor not told that. They not even open the mouth. That's fine. But when we started going to this slide, you see two things coming, blue and red. Right? Did you all hear it? Yes. Or is it okay? Yes. Or I'm only having a hearing problem? Okay. That's great.
Black. Brown. Red. Yellow. Green.
That's it. Okay? So what we are doing, I'm not done anything. This is not my own idea. This is available in the Google. Okay? So what I'm saying, like we are all conditioned. We are all conditioned to go with something what it is. And we continue to go. If you're conditioned, your brain something like that, you are not for 4.0, you are not part of the industrial 4.0. That's my point. Okay? And many of your teachers are scared and somebody has told, the technology is going to take my job out. Okay? Don't worry, if it is taking, I'll be with you. I am also in that cadre, okay? So I am outside. Okay? So technology will never replace the great teacher. But in the hands of a great teacher, it's a transformational. Okay? So give a big round of applause for that. And you need to be accept this. And one more thing I thought of telling in the beginning. And I wanted you have to be just gain the energy. Are you all energized? Are you all energized? Are you following me or anybody disconnected? Because I'm not using any 2G, 3G, 4G connections where it keep on going. Say like, madam, my line is not connecting. I'm going, hey, can you unmute? No, I'm not hearing, right? So here you can't escape from me. We are all sitting next to that. I will come and catch you the checked shirt and the blue, the green directly, okay? Maybe you'll be here for some more time, right? I will be come and catch why you will not say yes to me. Okay? Okay. So this is the different technologies. I'm not going to sell you anything here, but you need to have an open mindset and to adapt to the changes. You see the technology. I think we all taken a laptop, the mobile we have taken. But did you all know there is something called digital library, right? The Pramod is talking about a dynamic content. What is this? My God, right? So the static content, we know dynamic, you can create a dynamic content. That's why again I'm just thinking, we can create a dynamic content. Great, okay. So you need to have a digital library because without digital library, my daughter bag is 7 kg, I don't know what the government is doing and they say like only 4 kg, my daughter is taking a 7 kg to the school. If it's keep going, I'm making my daughter as in a fit and I wanted her to be in the sports and she also wished that to be. But if you keep on doing it, I don't know whether she can be fit because she's holding in a bag of 7-10 kg already, right? So if you wear a digital, I can just carry the tab within 1,000 books, millions of books if you have a bigger storage, right? So and then what is this? AI. Anybody say what is AI? Excellent. I think you made my job easier and I'm not getting sweat because of fear. It's only the AC is not that great to me, this side. Okay? Okay, what is AI? Artificial intelligence. Do you see the artificial intelligence in the education? Did you observe it any way that it is? Yes, no, that's it. If you don't know, then we will make you to see that. Okay? Don't worry. Okay, and then what you see here again is experiential learning. Do you remember any words that people are talking about? UNESCO, NEP 4.0? NEP 4.0, how many of you heard about NEP 2020? Sorry, NEP 2020. My brain is conditioned to 4.0, that's why. NEP 2020. New education policy, national education policy, there are two different abbreviations to that, right? So, all that says about the experiential learning, right? So that the schools has to be adapted, there is no other choice, whatever that you use and whatever the technology you use. For experiential learning, it's not mean that only with the technology, it is the methodology, right? So with that, I'm coming to the conclusion and we are done, so you will be understand that it's going to be taken next 2 minutes, that's it, right? It's all with you, like if you're actively listening, and in order for technology to be function successfully, there are 3 stakeholders. The students, the teacher, the institution need to be trained on the technology and tools. Yes? No? Yes. You agree with me? Yes. Yes. Excellent. Okay. So, are the teachers today, it's completely trained on the technology?
No.
No, right? If we don't trained, you'll be scared, you'll be have a fear, you'll be not able to do a great magics. With them, we'll be able to do a great magics. Okay? The education and technology, it's not the competitors, it's not something in a different, it's come from the different aliens, right? From a different planet. It's like 2 sides of the coin, it's go hand in hand. Okay? The technology has started playing, and I want one of you to be read this rather than me. I can pass the mic to you, and we are going to be end the session soon in a minute. Just give the mic to somebody who wanted to read. Please pass the mics down there. Pass the mic quickly. I just wanted to read this. If there is a typo, yes, please.
Technology has started playing a vital role in transforming the education sector and taking it to the next level.
Is it next level? The technology is going to take it to a next level? Yes, no,
yes,
that's it.
Yes.
Okay,
yes. Its future in education is promising, but it will rely on what is being used and how it's being used.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, and thank you for it. And by aligning a technology and learning methods with the skills needed in the future, not today or yesterday, needed in the future, the institution can ensure they are successfully preparing the students for the 4th industrial industrial revolution, right? So, why we are teaching students today? Why we are grooming them? Any one answer? What they will do after they complete your course or PU after the degree? What they want to be? They want to get or pursue some of their career, what they want it to be, right? So they have to be served to the industry, and if it is not aligned, of course, the biggest change we are likely to see as part of the Education 4.0 is the deeper fusion of technology into a teaching, okay? So if you don't use the technology and the different learning methodology, the softwares, the supporting hardwares, we can't make the kids align to the future. We can't align to the future, okay? The ultimate purpose of utilizing the technology along with the education, it's very important and critical, and we must explore and adapt to the changes, and updated curriculum and technology trained teachers are very important, okay? And that's all I done, and I want to give there is one thing which I want to slow and complete. Sorry, I'm taking a long time. Okay, the last one, the online education has been taken over the night decision, and everybody has been supported that there are millions of students. So I want to give a big round of applause to all of you first, and that should go like sound like anything. This is for you. And next to lack of institutes and lack of decision makers and lack of principals, please. And then next to millions of teachers. And you're also part of that million, okay? And to billions of students, okay? Without students' support, I think we are not succeed, right? So billions of students, right? I'm right with the number, billions of students? If you say, somebody come and say, no, we are only millions, 1.5 million engineering every year. And I itself register myself as a student of Learning Academy. So you can count me as a student, okay? So with that, and I want to close with one final thing. And the focus, what we are doing is shifting the focus from teaching to learning, okay? We are only shifting the focus from teaching to learning and never stop learning. You know why? You know why? Who are telling? He'll be a man of the match today. It's not my own words. It's the word by someone's who's special. Right? Never stop learning. Why? If you tell this with a big clap, I'm stepping out, I'm done. That's what I want to say. 3 seconds more, and if you don't tell, then I will be occupying this mic.
Learning is from birth to death.
Sorry, once again.
Learning is from birth to death.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So give a big round of applause to him, because the life never stopped teaching us, right? So never stop learning. That's the message which I want to give, and adapt to the change. Okay? So you are in agreement, and from today, don't resist. You don't set barriers for technology, for something which is coming new, right? So just explore, then you will be know it. And that's what the industry today doing, and empower. How it will empower, explore. What is that? Anything on the E, educate, explore. Right? Empower. Okay, do whatever it is, but don't resist yourself, and don't stop learning. That's my message. And thanks for patiently listening to me for this 20 minutes or more. And then thank you very much, and you will enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.